I have a good story. Let me know when the eyeballs start popping on.
Okay.
I have a fun story. It's a fun story.
You're up on my...
I'm up.
Yeah.
Susie says.
Yeah, you're on.
Susie says. Oh, Susie says. And you know what else I'm going to talk about today, everybody? Gina K says, right? So for all of you who know who Gina K is, and I'm sure if you're a stamper, you do. There's a little quote around town, Gina K says, around the internet, around crafting. And so I'm going to talk a little bit about Gina K today. Woo woo. Welcome everybody. Mana mana dee 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 dee. Mana mana dee 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 dee. Hey, I have a cute little story about the Mana Mana song. So I have this little friend named Marley. She's 9. And she's new to the area. Her aunt is a friend of mine. Her great aunt is a friend of mine. And, you know, I don't have any kids around. And so when Marley came to hang out with her great aunt, I said, oh, can Marley come and play in my craft room with me? And her aunt said yes. And Marley said, oh, I'd love to. And so she's been over a couple times crafting. Well, last time she was here was just, I'm going to show you what we were working on. Some of you saw it over, we're doing Valentine's stuff. So I put up a couple posts on Instagram, but her uncle dropped her off and he came to the casita door, the craft room door, and he's never been here before. And he came in and he said, oh, this is where you do your videos or something like that. And I said, oh, I looked at Marley, have you been watching videos? And he goes, mana, mana, dee, 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 dee. He goes, we've all been watching the videos. So I thought it was really cute.
Yeah, now you do.
Mana, mana, dee, 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 dee. Okay. I don't know where I left off in my little story. Well, right at the very end. But Marley and Ed and Anami, if you're watching today, hello and welcome to the show. So happy Tuesday Live, everybody, and Tuesday Tribe. I'm so glad that you're here with me today. We're kicking off a new year, new organization, goals and objectives. We talked a little bit last week. I put up a goal tracking sheet or a goal setting sheet. It's posted in last week's Tuesday takeaways. So if you didn't see last week, or you didn't, or you wanted the download and you couldn't find, or you didn't see it pop up anywhere, look on the Totally Tiffany Facebook page and the Tuesday takeaways from last week. It'll be in the links there. I'm trying to get really good about putting those links up every week. So, oh, maybe I could assign that to Susie. If she has fast fingers, she can get it done. So anyway, if you're looking for the goal sheet, it's in the Tuesday takeaways for last week. If you can't find it, let me know and we'll get a repost up on that. So latest and greatest updates on spinders. Stephanie Bernard at Stamps of Life is working on getting those on her website. So she will probably be the first person to have them live, and scrapbook.com is also adding them to their website. And I know I've been talking about spinders for those of you who've been looking for them for weeks and weeks. And, but I feel like we've got a plan. We're moving forward with them. So the Stamps of Life, and I will let you know when they're available there, and also scrapbook.com. Other announcements. I am teaching at the Scrapbook and Expo, the CK Expo in Mesa, Arizona. So for those of you who are coming to the Mesa show, let me know that you're going to be there. Come and join the class if you want to. Most of you have already taken the class, so you already know. But I am going to be at the show, so it'd be really fun to do a meet and greet, and we'll figure that out. But just so those of you who are in the area, it'll be super fun, right? I haven't been to a show in a long time. I'm really looking forward to it. Okay, so let's jump right in and answer questions. Oh, I also need to let you know that Susie is kind of doing double duty today. So she's watching for questions and running all the tech stuff because Colleen's not with us. So if you have a question and we don't get to it, it's probably because we missed it in the feed. So feel free to post it again if time has gone by and it hasn't popped up. And I'll try to check in with Susie more often about whether or not she's got questions, or you could just wave me down or whatever, Suze, whatever works for you.
Well, I got one.
Oh, Susie's already got a question. What is it?
Okay, Christina says, wait, no, Jody. Why aren't spiders going up on the TT site?
Spiders are not, they will eventually. There's this whole weird situation going on where the United States warehouse, which generally only ships wholesale orders, has a huge shipment of spiders. And so when you order them on the UK site, but they have to ship out of the US warehouse, then it creates a weird bottleneck of transfer of information and shipping labels and all this other weird stuff. And they've been trying to work it out. And it has, I mean, it's a bigger issue than that. So that they will eventually be on the TT site, but we've been working for weeks trying to get them out. And I'm thinking, what is the easiest way to get them into your hands? Because if you need spiders, you need spiders. And so I talked to Stephanie this weekend, and she said, send our shipper a sample. We'll see what we can do. They're a little bit difficult to ship because they're kind of fragile, not super fragile, but you know, they do need to be in a box or wrapped in bubble wrap or something. So there's those issues as well, but we're on it. And we've got two solutions, scrapbook.com, one, and the Stamps of Life solution number 2. So even if it's in the short term, because it's not something Stephanie would normally carry on the Stamps of Life, but she's willing to hop in and help out. I mean, that's one of the beauties of having a bestie in the industry who understands that sometimes things are wonky, and she's happy to do whatever she can to help. So yay, Stephanie. If you don't know Stephanie Bernard, the Stamps of Life, you should definitely check out her website. She does awesome stuff. Okay, so first question is from Coletta Cooper, and she says, I have a hard time organizing word sentiment dies that did not come with packaging showing the contents. I need a good flip-through system. I have tried die cutting them and gluing to an index for some of them that I have stored in a zip binder on magnetic sheets, but I find this cumbersome and the glued index isn't effective. Any help? So I got a couple of suggestions for you, Coletta. The first one is to create a single die catalog where when you do cut those quotes or those sentiments out, you cut it out and put it right in that category. So for example, I just got a brand new die set that is Happy Valentine's Day. I'm going to show you the little project that I'm using it on. So I'm going to cut that out, and I'm going to go to the Valentine's Day section of my catalog that has all my dies, and I'm going to add that die. I'm going to give it a number, and it's going to go into my die system. Okay, what does that mean? That means that every die that I have, I think I just have stamps back here. Well, here, we'll pretend this is a dies instead of the stamps. So every die that I have has a number and a storage pocket. This would probably have a magnet in it if it was a die. Now I also have a die file, but the same concept, right? So there's a couple of different ways to do it. So the pockets with the magnetic sheets, and then I put a number here. This is pocket number 190, right? So my next die is going to be number 191, regardless of what it is, because that catalog is going to be updated with the number. So I'm going to essentially cut out the die, put it in the Valentine's Day section of my catalog. And the beauty of that is that it's with all the other things for Valentine's Day. So if I'm looking for heart dies, I'll see the heart dies when I go to Valentine's Day. And if I'm making a Valentine's Day card, I may have totally forgotten that I had the Happy Valentine's Day die cut, but there it is right in Valentine's Day with everything else. I may have two different sizes of dies, a long one, this one, the new one is kind of a squarish shape. But they're all going to be there, so I can make all those choices at one time. So I would strongly recommend that you start putting together a catalog by theme, holiday, just like we do everything else. And then you'll be able to reference that really easily and give your dies a number. So whatever storage unit, your storage system you're using, I'm going to talk just a minute in another minute about more die and stamp storage. But it's going to make it that much easier for you to find it. Now, you might also want to have a section in your catalog that is just sentiments. So you might cut the Happy Valentine's Day twice. And in your sentiment section, you might also include that, right? The key to putting that catalog together is how do you think about those things? Happy Valentine's Day is pretty obvious. You're going to look for that in Valentine's Day. I put all my hearts in Valentine's Day because even though they're technically a shape, like stars, they say whenever I think of hearts, I think of Valentine's Day. So everything that's heart-shaped goes there. That's why it's important to do it yourself so that you understand, so that it works with your brain. Like, what does your brain think about those things? So creating an overall catalog and then numbering each die, and then it allows you to just keep adding, right? So the next die I get 191, the next pocket is 191. It goes into my filing system as 191. It's labeled in my catalog as 191. I hope that makes sense. There are, and then it's so easy to put it away, right? So I know exactly, so this is 190, I go right to that area and I put it away. And that is the beauty of using that numbering system for cataloging, dies, stamps. We talk about it for embossing, folders and punches and all kinds of things. And I'll try to get a link up to one of the cataloging videos because I know it gets confusing. But the beauty of it is you don't have to buy all new organization stuff. You just have to start assigning numbers to the things that you've got and keeping them in order numerically. And then so you can work with almost anything. It doesn't necessarily have to be exactly what I have. And you can do it in multiple things. So I've got it here, but I've got it in some fab files. I've got it on my die file. So it really kind of crosses over. But it is, cataloging seems overwhelming. Understanding how it works and then actually doing the work both can be overwhelming. So hopefully one of the cataloging videos will really help you with that. But it does help you also see everything that you've got. Okay, Elizabeth Hergert says, when will the top of the paper cart be back in stock? Elizabeth, the sad news is probably never. So we don't make the paper cart anymore. We may introduce a new cart. If we do, it may or may not be different. So that's the bad news. But the good news is you can make your own. So I know Susie's looking for a link right now to some command clamps. And those command clamps, well, they're designed more for something that's round because of the rubber on the inside of them. They'll actually fit over the bar in the paper cart. So the top, I should have pulled the top off something. No, I'm going to make Susie do it. Oh, so
I just added it in this.
Okay, so Susie just put a link to the clamps that we talk about, and then Susie, that paper cart that's right behind you, the one that you put your coffee on, of course.
Oh, cool.
All we do here is move things around, just so you know, everybody. If you can pull that off and bring it over here. So really, it's really simple to create your own, especially with the command clamps, because you don't even have to screw anything in with them, right? So here's the paper, the top is 13 by 26, 13 by 26. You can make it out of anything. Well, not anything. It needs to be something really sturdy, a piece of plywood, you know, some type of wood, something like that. These are metal and they're a little bit thinner, but you could definitely do it with wood. And then where we have these sort of C clamps, kind of hard to see the C. You're going to place those command clamps underneath and then pop it down, and it is going to work like a dream. So I'm sorry that I don't have it for you. Trust me, I would love to sell you a new top or a top for your paper cart, but it is a super simple way to put them together. As a matter of fact, I might ask my husband if he would actually build one so that I have one to show, because the odds that that product is actually going to ever be made again exactly like it is right now are pretty slim. So, excuse me. But that's it. Use the command clamps and a piece of 13 by 26 plywood. Now, the command clamps may not stick that well to straight wood. So you may either have to paint it or make it out of melamine. You may even have a shelf already. Like these shelves are metal. These are my IKEA shelves. They're too long, obviously, but they come in a couple of different lengths. You may be able to just buy a piece of shelving that's already covered with melamine. All right, I'm making a note. I'm going to ask my husband to build one. Oh, you super handy. Hot and handy. That's what we call Park. Okay, so Susie's good. H&H. Okay, so, but that's the solution. And the clamps are a little bit expensive. I mean, they're not crazy, but they're like $12 or $13. And then you're going to have to buy the wood. So it's probably going to equate out to just about the same price as you would pay. I think the top was $20. I don't remember, but kind of similar. And, but you don't have to worry about putting screws in it or anything like that, because I believe those just are going to stick on with the command. Now, while I've tried the clamps on my paper cart, I haven't actually built that with the shelf on it or whatever. So, but I'm going to try it, and I'm going to have my husband make one, and then maybe I'll do a little blog post about it, because it is not an uncommon question. Okay. Karen Kilpatrick. What are the envelopes, magnets, and boxes that came with the 2-pack of craft carts with aprons? I need more of all 3, but not sure what they are called on the website. Okay, Karen, I hope you have your pencil handy. So the pockets and magnets are the 5x7 pockets and the 5x7 magnets. I was looking here. I thought I had some. And those are, I don't know if those are in stock on our website or not, to be honest with you. But if they're not, guess who has them? Stephanie. So, and that, I'm trying to find one. Okay, this one has stamps on one side. So the pocket fits a set of stamps and the matching magnets. This is the 5x7 pocket and the 5x7 magnet. Now, the open boxes that they fit in on the carts, Stephanie's the only one who has them. And I sent you a link, Susie, the TSOL link.
Yep.
And so she'll put that link up directly to Stephanie's website. She does not have a lot of them left. And what she has, you get, I think, 20 magnets, 20 pockets, and 2 boxes. So there's a lot of product in there. I think normally a set of pockets is like $5. Set of magnets is like $6. So basically you're getting 4 sets. So that'll be about $10. You're getting 4 sets of magnets, 4 sets of pockets, and the 2 boxes in the set that Stephanie has, all in one big package. So, but that's what they are. The 5x7, it's called the SP5PK is the SKU on the 5x7 pocket, if you want to look on our website. The magnets are the 5x7 magnetic sheets. The SKU on those is the MAGS, M-A-G-S, 5x7. So you could look those up. I'm not sure we have those in stock, and I know for sure we don't have the boxes, but Stephanie does have the full kit with all the pieces in it. And I believe it's 2 boxes, 20 magnets, and 20 pockets, but she'll have the details on her website. And Susie just put up a link, so you can look there for the link as well. All right, Susie, flag me down if we have any questions while I'm in the process here.
Okay.
Brendan.
I've got a bunch. You're ready.
Okay, bring it on.
Bring it on. Okay, let me go to the beginning of
Go to the beginning of the questions. Let's start at the very beginning.
All right. Okay. Hello, Tiffany. I'm organizing while watching. Got my SR dividers and hoping to order some spinders today. Who has them right now?
Okay, asked about the spinders, but I think I answered that earlier. We are working very diligently to get them up on scrapbook.com and the Stamps of Life website ASAP, and I will definitely let all of you know via posts everywhere in social media that they are up, and hopefully by this time next week, the answer will be yes, and I'll be sending out links instead of information. Sorry.
Okay. From Trisha Weiferich. Hello, Tiffany. Just want to say I love all my TT products, but my favorite are the storage and supply cases. Waiting for the 3-drawer I requested right away when they came out. Any idea when, if they will be released?
Trisha, the good news is I do have a finished sample that's approved and ready to go. I do not know. Oh, so just in case you can't hear Susie, I should repeat the question. Trisha asked about a 3-drawer storage and supply case, which she asked for when we first released the storage and supply cases. So it is complete. It is approved. We are just waiting for it to get ordered and get into the warehouse. And I will have an update for you, Trisha. I'm writing it down right now. 3-drawer SASC update. So next week, I will try to talk to the powers that be and let you know when that is scheduled to be released. But it is ready to go. So we're just sitting on go on that one.
All right, let's see. Is Michael's going to carry all your bags? Are they all packed in multiples?
Currently, I think I might have talked a little bit about this, so sorry if I'm repeating myself. Currently, I think Michael's has all the bags, but they're in multi-packs. And the reason that they do that on the website is because when you're shipping something, if the value of the product is too low, then it costs more to ship it than it does to buy the product, and it makes things wonky everywhere, right? So that's why they put them in multi-packs, because then customers who are paying shipping can go, okay, well, I'm spending $24 and $5 to ship or whatever it is versus spending, $6 and $5 to ship, which of course is difficult for us to get our brains around, but shipping is what it is. So that is why they do the multi-packs. That's why when you look at all kinds of websites, you'll see high shipping or low shipping based on cost. It's weird how all that figures in there, but that is essentially what's happening at Michael's. We are working on trying to come up with some solutions for that with Michaels.com, and we are making a presentation to Michaels that includes buddy bags, so maybe they'll be in store. And we do have a little test run coming out with an end cap at Joann's that includes a couple of buddy bags. And Joann's may have the full, I haven't looked today, but Joann stores may have all the buddy bags individually as well. Maybe Fast Finger Susie over there can take a look when she's done reading me questions. So they may have the individual buddy bags also. And of course, if you're ordering online, scrapbook.com has everything individually also. So that's another great place to look for those. So we are working on getting them down to individuals, but it's not quite as easy as it could be or should be. What else you got, Suze?
Next question. All right. Can you make a dispenser for double-sided adhesive tapes? Please.
Please. A dispenser for double-sided. Boy, wouldn't that be nice? Why didn't I think of that? When I was doing crafty stuff with Marley this weekend, we did a lot of stuff with double-sided tape, and that would be a good idea. All right, it's on my list.
All right. When are you getting the 12 by 12 fab files back?
I don't know the answer to that question, but I believe that they are on scrapbook.com, and I believe that they're in stock on scrapbook.com, and if they have them, there's a good chance that the Stamps of Life also has them in stock on their website. So if you're in the U.S., I don't know if Stamps of Life ships overseas, actually. I know scrapbook.com does. But if you're in the U.S., that's fast and easy. And if you are out of the U.S., I don't know how long it takes. I don't know if Stephanie ships out of the U.S. But Stamps of Life and scrapbook.com probably both have those in stock right now.
All right. Along the same lines from Linda Smith. Do the scrap paper organizer folders fit in the 12 by 12 paper takers or the Lisa bag?
I'm assuming that's a Scrap Master. Do they fit in the Lisa bag or which other one?
The 12 by 12 paper takers.
Okay, let's check it out. So here is a Lisa bag. I think they do, but I don't know it for a fact. So let's check it out. This is always sort of the fun part about Tuesday Live, right? Is sort of testing everything. Okay, so they're kind of a tight squeeze in the Lisa. If you took the, wait a minute, that's not it. It's this. If you took the tray out. So there it is in the Lisa bag, right? Let me go over here and pull out the 12 by 12 paper taker. Hopefully I won't throw that on the floor at any point today because they'll be super noisy. 12 by 12 paper taker. So, dun, dun, dun. They will fit, the 12 by 12 paper taker's a little bit taller, so the label tab on it is below the lid versus the Lisa bag where the label tab is above the lid on it. And you can probably only get 1 or 2 in the Lisa bag, depending on how thick they are. So I'm not sure how beneficial that was going to be. Maybe 3 or 4 in the 12 by 12 paper taker. Now, this is available. Lisa is available on our website. The paper taker is not, but that is available on scrapbook.com and probably on Stamps of Life as well. However, if you're using these there's the tray. If you're using them for the SMSOs, the Scrap Master Organizer, they're going to go in and out of the bag better without the tray in there. So there it is without the tray. So it'll be easier to pull them in and out of the bag. And the tray is designed to give the bag that stability, protect the edges and corners of your paper. So if you're using Scrap Masters in there, you're pretty safe not to use the tray because the Scrap Master itself is going to protect all the edges and corners, so this one is loaded with a kit. So I've got a bunch of cardstock in the middle. And so that's protected because it's actually in the middle of the folder. And then all your other things are protected because they're in those pockets and there's edging around. So you'd be safe to carry this in either the Lisa or the 12 by 12 paper taker with no tray. So it would lighten the weight of it up, not very much. I mean, these aren't very heavy, but it would give you just a little bit more room and make it just a little bit easier to slide things in and out. So if you need to pull that tray out of there and use it somewhere else in your craft room, you could certainly do that. And that would work fine. Great in there. All right. You got something next, or should I go to my list, Suze?
I can keep going for you. Let's see. From Mary Ann Collins, Tiffany, I'm planning on a total redo of my craft space. It is a small 12 by 12 room. I want to use all TT products. What type of shelving do you suggest?
So Mary Ann Collins is getting to redo her whole craft room. It's 12 by 12, which is about the same size as my sister's room. I think when we did my sister's room, it was 11 by 13. So actual square footage is the same. I am a huge fan of open shelving, which is what I have behind me for a number of reasons, and also the IKEA cubes. And I'll kind of go through both of them. So these are IKEA shelves behind me as well. What do I love about these shelves is that you can drill extra holes into them so the shelves become even more adjustable, and you can set up your shelves specific to what you're storing on them. So you can really maximize. And this is what I want you to think about as you're setting up that new room. Left to right, back to front, top to bottom. You want to fill all that space in such a way so not as you're not wasting it, but that you also have ultimate access to everything, right? So you don't want to have shelves that are too deep where you have to stack things on top of each other, or too tall or too deep where you have to put things behind. And if you do, obviously things like these are a great solution because even buddy bags, I can pull those out and get to them. So slide, stash, and store are going to work great for that. But ultimately thinking about, and again, filling that space, right? So we've been able to, because we went vertical on this, we've been able to fill that space up and down and back to front at the same time. So really maximizing that space without compromising accessibility any more than you have to. So I love these IKEA shelves. They're called Fajelkinj. I'll try to get up a link to them. Oh, Susie's going to pull it up and try to post it as well.
If I can find it.
She can find it. So they work great. They're metal, but they're not heavy. Here's the other thing that is really wonderful about buying shelving versus putting in cabinets. First of all, if you leave your shelves open, it's really easy to get to things, and it will help you keep them cleaner, neater, tidier, put things away, because things will fall off shelves that don't have cupboard doors and they look better and all that stuff. But mainly for me, there's two big things. The first one is accessibility. The second thing is they're movable. So if you set up your craft room, and there's a good chance that this will happen, that you'll set it up one way, and once you start working in it, you'll think, oh, it would be better if this shelf was over here, or this was back here, or this was over there, as you start moving around in that space. Maybe it's how the light's coming in the window. I mean, we built this studio. Here's a prime example. We built this studio, and I had these long, skinny windows that you can't see put along the top, because I thought, oh, that's going to let that light in, right? Well, once I started working in here, yeah, it lets the light in. This window, the light comes directly through the window in a straight band right across my face. So you couldn't, like, it was like looking at a video where the face was missing, right? Because that bright light. So just because we have these great intentions about how we set things up or design things doesn't mean that's actually going to work that way in the real world. So that's one of the reasons I love the shelving, because you can move it around. You might get it perfect the first time, but the odds are you're going to start working in that space and you're going to want to reconfigure. So I would definitely say open shelving. These shelves, the problem with these shelves is that because there is nothing on the end of them, things can fall off the end. And so this is just a piece of, I think it's called 1x3 or 1/2x3 wood. And my husband painted it turquoise for me. He didn't paint this side because he's like, you're not going to see that side anyway. But and so I just had him cut it so it fits right into the end of the shelving. Like, I don't have to have it on here because these are together, but they go right at the end. And that way I can't push anything off the shelf. So it was a fast, easy fix. And again, depending on how I configured the shelves, I can, or I don't have to use them on every shelf. I didn't need them on every shelf, but they do allow you. So you can see, well, here, I don't know if you can see this or not. Susie might have to move the camera a little. Can you see this end of the shelf, Susie? Okay, so I'm going to pull that out of there.
You're going to get the corner there.
Yeah, just right here. So if this piece of wood wasn't there, I could just shove that off the shelf when I push things over. So all I've done is taken this piece of wood and slipped it, dropped it in the hole. Yeah. And it just fits in. So there's kind of an L shape in the shelf, and it just fits in there perfectly. I don't lose any shelving space, right? But it prevents things from getting pushed off the end of the shelf. So it's a super easy fix. I think it's something that I actually might have done a blog post about a long time ago. I think it's called Shelf Hacks or something like that. So if you're going to do open shelving, keep that in mind. These IKEA shelves, it works perfectly because they do have kind of an L-shaped indent where I can push it right into and it stays there. So I love that about the IKEA shelves. Obviously, I love the cubes because they fit so much of what we store as crafters. A lot of the Totally Tiffany products are designed to work in the cubes as well as the open shelving. So that's nice. We do have a new product coming out, I think in March. That's a little organizer tray with a bunch of different little boxes on it. And that is going to fit into your IKEA shelf. So that's going to be a cool little thing. It pulls out on a tray. So I love those. I love the IKEA. It's called Calyx and this shelving unit. And they make it so easy. And they're relatively inexpensive, which is another great thing, right? You can spend all your entire crafting budget just on shelving or just on cabinets, or you can choose something from IKEA that looks good and that's movable and have money left over to spend on crafting things. Oh, so depending on what your budget is. I am not a fan of doors on stuff. You all know that. I want it to be open. I want to see it. I want to get to it. And once you put a door on it, it's out of sight, out of mind. So that's my Big advice there. All right, I'm going to answer one of the questions that was posted today real quickly while Susie looks for her next question. Brenda Dale Beasley said, I added a question last week, but it didn't get addressed. So first thing, which I talked about right in the very beginning, is if you do post a question today and it doesn't get addressed, like within 10 minutes of it being posted, feel free to post it again, and we'll try to keep an eye on it. Susie's, like I said, doing double duty today, so that makes it a little bit more challenging. But if for some reason, like Brenda, we didn't get to it at all, please feel free to post it in the next Tuesday. And if I see it before the next Tuesday, I'll try to get back to you right away as well, so you don't have to wait so long. So Brenda says, which buddy bag works with the 4x6 file pockets? I know the fab file, but I'd rather have a buddy bag. So I'm going to look right here and see what I have. This question has never been asked, but we're going to find out. So here are these the pockets. Yep. Here's a couple of 4x6 pockets. That's a pocket. This is a pocket. Some of these are file folders in there. So we've got the 4x6 pockets. So these work great for 4x6 photos. We're going to try to fit them into a buddy bag. And so my first response is going to be, oh, you guys would be so impressed. I got all of this organized down here. So now I just have to remember my alphabet because they're in alphabetical order. Here we go. So this is Irene. Irene. Okay, I should tell you my little story about Irene. Years and years ago, I hope no one finds this offensive. It's just a little bit quirky, weird, totally Tiffany funny. So if you're offended, I apologize. I had a bookkeeper whose name was Wileen. And every time that she came into the office, this little recording would play in my head. Wileen, when you can stand up straight. And it has stuck with me for probably 15 years. And it makes me kind of smile and giggle every time. And she said,
I still remember her name.
I still remember her name. That's right. And she thought that it was funny also. But what I thought was funny was that no one else had ever said it to her. So anyway, okay, here we go. Best option is going to be, well, here, that maybe is not the best option. So there's Eileen, what she looks like with those 4x6s in there. Now, Eileen is going to have a little bit of room on the sides. So I'm trying to, no, Irene, not Eileen. Irene is going to have a little bit of room on the sides. I thought that I had all the girls down here, but I don't see Monica. So I will pull Monica from here. We'll see how she works. But I think she's going to be kind of the same dimensionally. Oh, Monica. So she's a little bit tighter fit going in. So and she's going to squish up the labels anyway. So I'm going to say Irene over Monica all day long. But Sue might be, Sue, sweet Sue, where are you? Shelly. Sarah. Shut the front door. I didn't put his Sue back down here. Good gravy. All right, let's find Sue.
You're fired.
I'm fired. Oh, shoot. What about, that's Barb. That's not going to work. So this is Sue. I think she's going to be too big, though. Yeah. She's not going to be tall enough either. This brings up a great question, though, because maybe we do need to do, maybe we do need to do a 4x6. Same thing, squish the tabs down with Sue. Denise is taller, but Denise is probably not wide enough. Now, what I'm also thinking is the paper taker bags, but they're probably all going to be too big. So this is the 5x7 paper taker, but maybe we need a 4x6 version. So I'm going to say in the short term, if you don't want to use the fab file, that Irene is going to be your girl, but you're going to bend your tabs at the top a little bit. So I don't know if you can see that. I'll hold it up like this. They'll bend up at the top a little bit when they're in there. So Irene, for the moment, drop my pen, but I am going to put this 4x6 buddy bag on my list, or paper taker, something similar. We'll see if we can't get that done for you, because that is a great idea. Questions from you, Suze?
Okay, go back to them.
Thanks, Brenda, for your patience too. I'm sorry we didn't get to you last week.
Okay, good morning, Tiffany. What is your recommendation for storing the medium die and stamp packet, I guess, PKT? The Leanne bag is a little snug.
The medium die and stamp. Oh, Denise. Yeah, Denise is designed for that medium bag, or that medium pocket. So this is Denise, and this is the medium pocket. And so Denise has the 3 individual sections, which also keeps these standing straight up and down, right? So Denise is going to hold, so for those of you who are unfamiliar, the die and stamp pockets are just a clear pocket like this. They just have a little fold-in tab, and they're designed to hold dies and stamps. You can cut your 5x7 magnetic sheet and put it in there if you want to hold your dies. But you will be able to hold a set of dies and a set of stamps. I was thinking if I had one handy here, but so the medium pocket, and you're going to get, probably 10 per section in the Denise bag, maybe 15, depending on if they're all dies or all stamps or whether you're using the magnets or not. But the Denise bag was designed to hold that medium die and stamp pocket. I mean, I guess I could test it. I have a whole bunch of them right here. Let me pull out a whole stack so that I keep them in number order, because that'll be easier. 1, 1, 2. So these are fatter because these are whimsy stamps, and they're the red rubber stamps, so they're a little bit fatter. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So these are all stamps, and some are fat. So easy 10. If you wanted to cram them in there, you'd probably get 12 if they're fat, like red rubber stamps. So probably going to get up to 36 pockets in there. And again, if you're just putting something thin in there, like dies, then you're probably going to get closer to 50 pockets in the Denise bag. So for those of you who are unfamiliar with the die and stamp pockets, they come in 3 sizes, a large, a medium, and a small. The large were designed for the die stamp and supply organizer. They're what's in the back here. The small were designed, and they all fit in there, obviously. I'm using all 3 sizes. The small ones, which is this size, those are designed to fit in the Katcha bag. So if you're using small, they're going to go in Katcha. This box is in sideways. If you're using medium, they're going to go in Denise. And then the large ones are perfect in the die stamp and supply organizer. I have to pay attention because I keep pulling things out of order here. Here we go. Okay. Next question on my list. Susie, you'll be up next. Jessica Mathis says, what do you recommend for storing Crayola super tip markers? My daughter just got a set of 50. They're just under 5.5 inches long. Jessica, thanks so much for giving us the dimensions on that. I love it. It makes it so much easier. Yeah, perfect. Susie's got my tray of miscellaneous markers, and I have something in here that's a kid marker, and I think those are probably the same length, 5.5 inches, if I remember correctly. I don't know. So these are fat. I don't know if the super tip, fast fingers, Susie. Can you look up, Susie, if the super tip is a thin marker or a fat marker like these? I guess the height is really kind of the relevant thing, though. And I'm pretty sure that Barbara, and I'd like to thank Barbara Carlson for reminding me, sharing with me, telling me, whatever the right word is, that The Barbara bag was good for Sharpies because I bet it's going to be good for these as well. So that also brings up another little reminder, which came up last week. I think I took this one apart, about the clear plastic on your, and I left this on there because it's easier to see. When you get your buddy bag boxes, they're flat and they have this clear plastic coating on them. So if, and it's just there to protect them during shipping and manufacturing, you can leave it on or you can pull it off. If you pull it off, you get this clear box versus this sort of not as clear, still clear enough to see through, but I'm going to leave that like that so I can remember to share that again. But
They look like they're thinner. I can't find the measurements online. I'll tell you what aisles are on. I'm surprised though.
super tips. Okay, so those look like a thinner marker, but height wise, they're the same as these. So I'm going to fill this up so we can get a sense here of how they work. Are these the same size? Those are a little bit taller. I just want to make sure that you'll be able to fit all of them. Those are the right size. And still close the lid on the Barbara bag. Otherwise, we'll have to ramp it up to Deborah. Those are long. Well, all of these are longer. Trying to find all my little shorties in here. I try to keep a stash of, as all of you know. Yeah, so these are, yeah, I think Barbara's going to be, can I close her up? Oh, yeah. Yep, I think Barbara's going to be your girl because these are a little bit taller even. So you can see, oh, these are all taller, but you can still close the lid even with the taller ones. So I think Barbara's going to be the perfect bag for those markers, actually. Barbara's your girl. Now, if you want to go Deb, let's see what they look like in Deborah. Because Deborah may also work. I don't think you're going to get as, well, I know you're not going to get as many in Deborah as you would. So these are the right height. So 5.5 inches still sticks up above the lid of the Deborah bag. If you have 50 of the skinny ones, I'm not sure how many you're going to get in here. I'm going to say probably closer to 30. So you might need 2 Deborahs or 1 Barb to hold all those markers. And I think you'll have a little extra room in the Barb. She's a little more square. So you may even be able to get 50 on one side and then put something else on the other side, some other brand of marker or glue sticks or something like that, something else that your daughter likes to play with. All right, what have you got, Susie?
I just put the link to the buddy bag measurements.
Oh, perfect. Okay.
So if you want to remind them of that.
Susie just posted up the link to the buddy bag product grid, and that will give you a list of all the buddy bags and all the measurements. So if you need to check on something, or maybe you're going to add something else in there, that'll be helpful as well. That's a great thing to just download and keep on your desktop or print out and keep in your craft area so that you can, anything that you want that you're working with, you can have a kind of a quick reference to that.
Okay. Mo K says, I have 4 TT craft carts. Is it possible to get the plastic organizers that go in the drawers?
Mo K just asked about the plastic organizers that go inside the drawers. And I'm not sure, Mo, if you are talking about this clear, small, short trays from the craft carts or the taller trays that hold the die and stamp. So if you can kind of, in either case, the answer is not from Totally Tiffany. Stephanie Bernard, if you're looking for the taller white boxes that held the pockets and die and stamps, Stephanie has those on her website. We currently do not make the other little fold together boxes that fit in there. However, what works great in those carts are your buddy bags, and you can literally take your buddy bags and put them into the cart trays, right? So you can get all the different sizes that you need or that you want, but you can roll back the lid and you can put them, we'll do these two. Now, I talked a little bit about this when I did the Michaels class, right? So regardless of what type of craft cart you have, I'll do it this way so they hold each other. The buddy bags, or they have fit in in all of the craft carts that I've actually brought into the studio and tested. So if you roll back your buddy bag lids like this, now you've created dividers in your cart. And so then you can fill them. I mean, obviously these are already full, but you can fill them with supplies like this. And then if you want to take those supplies with you, you can pull the buddy bag out of the cart, close it up, and take it with you wherever you're going to go. So they work awesome in your cart as dividers, like those boxes used to work. So we used to do a set of boxes that fit in there, except that choosing buddy bags, you get exactly what you want, exactly the dimensions that you want to hold the supplies that you want in your cart. So I would look to your buddy bags for organizing your carts that way. The other thing to keep in mind is that, which some people forget, is that you can use your buddy bags as drawer dividers as well, right? So not just in the carts. If you have drawers in your craft room, pick the buddy bags that are the right depth or the right length to fit in those drawers. Use them, the trays inside them, as drawer organizers. And then again, if you want to take those things out of your drawers and travel with them, or maybe you want to change out what's in your drawer based on what you're working on, it's really easy to close up your buddy bag and drop it into your craft tote or store it somewhere else.
Okay, so she's referring to the short boxes.
Yeah, the short boxes, we don't make them anymore. So go with buddy bags, okay. They'll be a perfect solution. You may already have some that are going to help you really organize those cart drawers. All right.
Will Lawn Fawn stamp pads fit in the Stephanie bag?
Will Lawn Fawn stamp pads fit in the Stephanie bag? That is a great question, because I'm going to tie it in with Anita Gaffney's question, which is, can you tell me which buddy bag best fits Archival Brilliance, Ranger, Adirondack, Versamark, and Stays On pads, please? I think that is your best match for all of those is going to be the Stephanie buddy bag, because all of those, to the best of my knowledge, I've got some Stephanie's here. Let's see what's in this. Okay, so this has kind of a variety in it already. That is Stephanie. But that brings up another thing, because like I was talking to you about Gina K, I got a little goodie bag from Gina K. Susie, can you hand me those couple of ink pads that are on the table over there? So basically, when we're talking about oval ink pads, oblong ink pads, they're all kind of about the same dimension, right? So when we're Ranger, what were the questions here? Archival Brilliance, Ranger, Adirondack, Versamark, and Stays On. They're all about the same size as these guys, and this about the same size as the ovals too, as far as dimensions go, back to front. So all of those are going to fit in the Stephanie buddy bag, and that's probably going to be your best option, even if you're stacking. So these are like brands, so they stack up really easily. These are all these are different brands. So, but they're still going to stack in there, and you're still going to be able to use the stickers that come with the Stephanie bag to label for color, which you know is kind of one of my pet peeves. I'm looking to see here if I have those stickers. Well, these are. So when you order your Stephanie bag, you can see that I have these colored stickers on the front of these, 2 different sets of ink. So this is Little Darlings. This is Stamps of Life. That big bold block of color is because they came with these little stickers that I colored in with the ink pad and put on the ink pad, so I could really see clearly that color that ink pad was. So that is one of the nice things about the Stephanie bag, is you get those labels with the bag, so it makes it really easy to indicate what color those are. So you can do that, and you can do that on any one of these ink pads that you want to do that with.
Somebody's asking right now, Stampin' Up! Ink pads fit in the Stephanie bag?
No, of course not, because that would be too convenient if all the manufacturers made things the same size. Stampin' Up! Fit in the, liar, liar, pants on fire. This is Stampin' Up! Oh, maybe this is close to my heart. I believe. I believe. Let me just double check though, because, oh no, Close to My Heart are the magnetic ones. They fit in Barbara. Yes. So this is the new Stampin' Up! Size type. This is the old Stampin' Up! So old Stampin' Up! In Sue. New Stampin' Up! Color order here in the Stephanie bag. So this Stephanie bag, which I have Stampin' Up! In, and if I want to store them flat, I'm going to store it like that, right? So Stephanie, same bag, just going 2 different directions depending on how you're storing your inks and what brand they are. And I'm going to pull this out of here and I'm going to check this one more time, but I don't think, yeah, I think they're too tall. Oh, maybe not. Maybe you can fit the old and the new. You can, it looks like you can. Oh yeah. So you can get the old Stampin' Up! Or the new Stampin' Up! Both in the Stephanie bag. So Stephanie's this was really designed around ink. So she's a great, she's kind of a great all-purpose bag for inks. But speaking about inks, I got a bunch of Gina K inks from Gina and her team. And so they are also going to fit in the Stephanie bag. Okay. They're the same size. But what I got from Gina were large ink pads and small ink pads. And I was thinking, how am I going to store those together? This is the 8-drawer storage and supply case. I'm going to go back and finish answering Anita's question. So Anita, Stephanie is going to be the best choice for all of those inks. Now, with the exception of, for some reason, I used to have a Ranger ink pad that was giant. I don't have it anymore. I couldn't find it. And so I'm questioning if the Ranger Adirondack ink is a bigger ink pad or if it's about the same size as everything else. So if you're watching today, Anita, if you could confirm that for me, the size of it, that would be great. Okay, so I got these fun inks from Gina K. I got the little guys that match the big guys. And I thought, people like to store these together. You're going to use them together, presumably, or search for them together. And the challenge with the little inks, and so I designed the 8-drawer for Stephanie Bernard because she has the small ink pads as well. I thought the challenge is if you want to keep those 2 sizes of ink pads together, well, it looks like this is a perfect solution. I took the 8-drawer storage and supply case, removed the 6 middle drawers. Maybe you could use them to organize your desk drawers or something like that. And then I can store it flat like this. The problem is, I'm going to be straight up with you about it, as I usually am. The problem is getting to the 6 ink pads. They're not in a drawer. So you have to pull out the whole tray to get to those, all 6 ink pads. Now, what I did with the small inks is, depending on what type of dauber you use. So I've got a fingertip dauber here that goes with each of the ink pads, or you may use this type of dauber that goes on the handle. And so you could store those ink pads as well. So you've got your small ink pads, your daubers, and your large ink pads all stored together. And again, this is the 8-drawer storage and supply case. I will put up a picture of this. Now you could do this exact same thing with the Stephanie Bernard size, with the Tim Holtz size. Matter of fact, I'm going to see how many Tim Holtz. So all of the small squares are a 1x1 square. They're all the same, or every one that I've seen or used is the same. So the manufacturer doesn't matter. They all fit in those little drawers. The Tim Holtz ink pads are square though. So let me see if I have, yes, I do. So if you wanted to do the square Tim Holtz, how many would you be able to fit is going to be the question in that. And then again, storing them. So with this Tim Holtz, you're going to be able to get 9 instead of just 6. right? Yes, you'll be able to get 9 instead of 6. So if you wanted to store these flat and stack them, as you've seen me do with the storage and supply cases, you could do 2 or 3 of them stacked on top of each other. Really, the biggest challenge with this is pulling it in and out. You have to pull out the whole tray because these aren't in individual drawers. So in terms of ink storage, oh my gosh, there's so many options. So many choices for ink storage and what's going to work best for you and for your room. But this is a good solution for keeping the two things together with the daubers. So if that's something you want to do, the 8 drawer is a good option. Yes, Susie.
Okay, you're going to love this one.
Uh-oh.
It's the storage and supply cases that are good for washi. Which one is the best?
The the 6 drawer. Storage and supply case for washi tape. Washi tape. So you know I'm a washi tape junkie, right? So this is a 6 drawer storage and supply case. One of the beautiful sort of things that happened with the storage and supply case, happy accident, was this idea that you can stack them on top of each other and label your drawers and be able to pull them in and out easily. So this one's a little bit different because it's not really a drawer, but these guys have the little drawer notch. So if they were labeled on the front, you could create a little tower. Now you can only go 2, 3, possibly 4 high, depending on how heavy the items are in the storage and supply case. So keep that in mind on that. But the number 6 for washi, if you only have a little bit of washi tape, then the Shelly Buddy bag was also designed for washi tape. But if you're a washi tape junkie like me, then the 6 drawer storage and supply case is the perfect solution for that. Anything else, my friend Susie?
Oh, yeah. Somebody just back to where we were just a minute ago. What bag are you putting your Tim Holtz inks in before you showed them in the 8 drawer?
This is the Edna. So Edna or Merle. So if you don't know the difference between Edna or Merle, they are exactly the same dimensions, but Merle has ear flaps and Edna does not. So at the end here, there's no flap. Merle has the flap at the end. Why would you choose one over the other if they're the same size? So Merle was designed for putting small things into, sewing things in particular, scissors, needles, turners, seam turners, that kind of thing. So we needed an ear flap and end flap, so when you turned her on her end, things wouldn't slide out. If you're just using her or just looking for a bag for, I believe they're the same price, so that's not a question there. I guess if you're just using her for inks, then I would say you don't need the extra hook and loop. You don't need the extra Velcro at the end. That's just a pain to, one more thing to open, right? Now, if you want to go with Merle, or maybe Merle's all we have in stock, you can also not use the ear flaps. I wish I had invented Velcro. You cannot use the ear flaps and just fold. I know, and Post-it notes and zip ties, please.
Yeah.
You cannot use the ear flaps at all and just fold them in against the top of the bag and have the same effect. So either Edna or Merle, depending on what's in stock, what you can find. Either one of those is going to work great for Tim Holtz. You'll be able to get 18 or 19 ink pads into Tim Holtz ink pads into one of those. I'm going to just, well, no, I'm not. I was going to do a spoiler, but I'm not.
All right. What can I do about the storage desk organizer that the elastic straps all are loose and not elastic anymore? I didn't abuse it.
I'm wondering if you're talking about the Ditto. I would just reach out to customer service. So it sounds like the Ditto bag is what you're talking about. I'm trying to think what else we have that has elastic straps on it, but I think it's the Ditto has the most, has a bunch of loops of elastic. I would reach out to customer service on that because is odd. I've had my Ditto bags for years and the elastic is still stretchy. So it sounds like either there's a manufacturing problem or a defect in the material that they use. In either case, customer service at totally-tiffany.com and maybe send some pictures. That's always helpful. That would be great. And Leanne will get you taken care of.
Okay, ready for another one?
Ready.
From Marshall I love paper too.
From Marshall, I love paper too.
Good morning. I was wondering, will HSN restock the paper cart? I went to order one and they were sold out. Thanks for all your help and your Tuesday tribe. I learned so much.
I'm so glad that you're here with us, Michelle. I'm glad you learn stuff every Tuesday. And again, I know I've said this before. It's so great for you all to ask me these questions and make suggestions, because that is where my new product designs and ideas come from. So thank you for being here and sharing your ideas and suggestions. As far as the paper cart goes, currently it is not something that is on the drawing board to be brought out again. However, I keep dropping my pen. We've had a lot of requests for it in the last couple of shows, so I will bring it back as a question to Crafter's Companion and to HSN, and maybe we can do something else, or maybe we can do another one. So, this is the third question today related to the paper cart. So we'll see what we can do for you. It's a great, I think I have 3 of them. One we just wheeled into the other room. One, they're super handy. I use mine for files. Like one of them is over by my desk and it just has files in my VRO trays. So they're super handy. I'll see what I can do.
All right. Deb Schroeder, question. Will you be attending any of the CKCs or expos this year?
So Deb Schroeder's asking, am I going to be at any CKCs or expos this year? And the only one that I'm currently going to be at is going to be the one that's right here in Mesa, Arizona. Well, right here. I live in Wickenburg, for those of you who don't know, which you probably have no idea where that is. It's a tiny little town, kind of in the middle of the state, I would say, middle, northwesty.
On your way to Las Vegas.
It's on your way to Vegas. If you leave Phoenix going to Vegas, you got to go through Wickenburg to get there. But anyway, Mesa is the nearest, well, not the nearest. Phoenix is the nearest big city, but they're all kind of one thing. So I will be at the Mesa show, which is March 4th and 5th. I am teaching a class for Be Creative, who will be carrying the Totally Tiffany products, not all of them, but a large assortment of them in their booth. But it would be great to do a little meet and greet where we all get together there at the show, or maybe a little restaurant somewhere nearby or something. It'd be super fun. Maybe I'll drag Susie down with me so y'all can meet her. But that's the only one I'm doing this year.
Okay. Lynn Villarreal, who commented last week about her, or maybe 2 weeks ago, about her tamales.
Yes.
She said, Tiffany and team, Happy New Year. You guys didn't come over. LOL. My place is still a wreck. I love TT products, especially my craft and carry.
Woo woo.
Just had to share that.
We got invited for tamales, but we couldn't quite get there. However, I do love tamales. I just bought a new brand in my refrigerator. I'm excited. That's what I'm going to have for lunch now that she brought that up. So thanks for joining us again on Tuesday. We're happy that you're here. And if you make it into Wickenburg, bring tamales. All right. What else we got,
Let's
Susie?
see. Will the paper takers be coming in colors?
Will the paper takers be coming in colors? Stephanie Bernard has them in pink, I believe. I'll ask. Maybe we could do a fun special bundle of them in a limited edition. Maybe that would be fun. Ooh, in the TT colors. We'll see what we can do.
Okay, Meg Daisy Feroli. I'm sorry if I'm butchering names. I am beginning to plan to empty out my craft room and start over. What's the first area should I focus on to make the rest of the reload go smoothly?
Paper. So Meg asks, she's gutting her room and starting again. And what things should she organize first to make the rest of it go more smoothly? And the first thing you should organize is paper. And why some of you have heard this before. A lot of you have heard this before. Hey, by the way, something I'm supposed to remind everybody to do, and I always forget, is that if you're watching on YouTube, please subscribe, and click the little bell on YouTube. And that way you will know when I come out with a new video, or when I'm live, you'll get a little announcement about it. For those of you who aren't currently subscribed or don't usually watch on YouTube, all of these events are recorded and up on YouTube, as well as a plethora of other Totally Tiffany videos. So it's just a great reference tool. You can go into the channel and search for specific things or specific products and get whatever the latest video is, and Get Organized Challenge videos are there and everything else. So if you're not currently part of the YouTube followers, I would really encourage you to do that. If you are, please like, subscribe, and hit the bell. Okay, so sorry, totally sidetracked on that. Paper is the first thing, and you should organize your paper first because it's the thing that we almost always use when we craft, number one. And number two, it really sort of redefines the 4-section system and how it works and how simple it is for everything to go together and make those decisions. And it's very containable while you are organizing. What I mean by that is when you start sorting like big embellishments or stickers or those kind of things, it gets messy and it takes up a ton of space and it can be overwhelming. But when you do paper, you can stand up your paper storage boxes and you can sort in a small area. It's easy to clean up. It's easy to put away. It's easy on your head. And the same time that you're doing it, you're understanding the 4-section system better. You're figuring out what your sections really need to be as you're going through those papers. But you also are able to complete that task, really get your brain around it, see it done. And as I said, you're mostly using paper, or you're almost always using paper. So you're reaping the benefit of doing that organization task. All of those things are really good for your brain and will keep you motivated and inspired. So absolutely start with paper. All right. Next. I love the easy ones. I love the ones that I know.
Rhonda Crowley. Question. I have the very large ribbon spools from Costco. What would you store them in?
Rhonda Crowley has the very large ribbon spools from Costco. What would I store them in? When you say very large ribbon spools from Costco, I'm trying to think. I'm guessing that they're, I think 6 or 8 inches.
Yeah, they're pretty.
So
I got a bunch of them.
Susie's like, I have those. What do I do? 6 or 8 inches. My best suggestion, especially is if you're a ribbon junkie, is to get one of those under the bed storage type organizers. So the problem with ribbon, most people want to put it onto a spool so they can pull it off the spool, or onto a dowel or something so it'll spin around. The problem with that is that's not really how we use it, right? When we're using something like that, which I know if you've joined me for the Get Organized Challenge, you've heard me say this, how you use a product is really an important part of the decision factor about where you store it and how you store it, right? So if you have all your ribbon on spools on a wall and you go over and you have to pull off as much as you think you need and cut it and then go back to your workstation, it's not a good system, because if you measured incorrectly or guessed incorrectly, as most of us do rather than measure, that always brings my dad's little saying into my head, measure twice, cut once. Then you have to get up, go back, get the right size. If that spool is empty, you have to take every other spool, or if that roll of ribbon is empty, you have to take every other roll off the spool and put them back on. So I don't like anything that you have to run a rod through the middle of. But a big under the bed organizer for ribbon allows you to keep your ribbon, even in those big rolls, in the 4-section system. It's only 3 sections probably, but you're going to have Christmas ribbon. You're going to have rainbow colored ribbon. I'm not sure that any of those ribbons come in theme, right? So sometimes smaller ribbons you're going to get, I have one that has school buses on it, one that has pencils on it, but they're smaller, like from Michael's. The big ones, you're mostly dealing with holiday and rainbow. And so those under the bed trays were great. You slide it under the bed, organize it by color, or these are all Christmas, or this is all whatever. When you pull it out, you can take out the whole ribbon and then you can put it back in because of their size. But what I don't like about anything that's deeper than an under the bed thing is that you end up piling things or throwing things into a big bin, and then you have to dig through it. So whatever you choose, and it could even be an under the bed cardboard box that's not on wheels. So whatever you choose, think about that. What can I put this in that's just a single layer deep? I will say, a little bit of a spoiler alert, one of the things that I'm working on is an organizer, and I think those of you who saw the demo on the soon-to-be 12 by 12 storage and supply case, a little bit deeper storage and supply case. So those 3 and 4 inch rolls of ribbon that are really popular from the big box stores, Joann, Michael's, Hobby Lobby, you'll be able to put those into the 12 by 12 storage and supply case in drawers that slide in and out. So that is definitely something I'm working on. I know it doesn't help with the 6 or 7 or 8 inch round ribbon, but single layer, preferably somewhere under the bed or even on a shelf. I guess maybe you might have a shelf that you can put those, long boxes in, which I was thinking this idea, this is what you're looking for. So it's on a shelf. Even if you put it in a box, like, how, sorry, I'm off on a tangent now. My brain is just reeling. Even if you took those big rolls of ribbon and you put them in a shallow box, like a box that, I don't know, a case of soda comes in at the grocery store, right? It's only half high and then it's got like 4 6-packs in it. Even if you put that shallow box on your shelf, stood the ribbon up on end, then you could pull the box off and on the shelf, but keep the ribbon organized up there. So think along those lines, depending on the space that you have in your house. Ding, ding, ding. So now my brain is already tripping on what could I do for the Slide Stash and Store product line. This is why I love Tuesdays, my friends. This is it. Okay, what do you got, Susie?
Let's see. Question. Please, could you make oblong stamp and die bags?
I think the oblong stamps are going to fit in this, Stephanie, if that's what you're asking me. So oblong would be, what brand comes in oblong? Not quite oblong, but there is a brand. So this is not quite oblong versus oval. So there is a brand that is in between these two. I don't remember what it is off the top of my head, but I think it'll fit in the Stephanie. If you give me the brand that you like or the dimensions of that oblong, then I will be able to be more specific. But I think you're going to find that they fit in Stephanie. They fit well, actually. All right. Anything else, Susie?
Hi, Tiffany. What is the best way to store 12 by 12 paper in Michael's cubes that are 13.5 by 13.5 so they will stand up?
You can either use the paper handlers or, so this is a paper, so this will fit. This is the 12 by 12 fab file. So depending on where you live and how you move around in the world of crafting, I'll give you a really quick, look what a mess I make every Tuesday. I'll give you a real quick sort of the different things that are offered by Totally Tiffany. 12 by 12 fab file. Why would you use this? You would use this if you need to keep your paper in smaller. So this is only like 1.5 inches wide. So if you need to keep your paper contained in smaller sections, maybe that's because you travel. Maybe it's because you don't like to lift a lot of weight. Maybe it's because where you live is dusty or you store your paper out in the garage or somewhere like that, right? So the thing about the fab files is that they have the flap and the lid and the top. So they're all contained up. So there's one option. The next option is going to be your 12 by 12 paper handler. So the 12 by 12 paper handler has the pull-up handles. It's plastic, so it's a lot more durable than our cardboard paper storage boxes. It's also a little bit more expensive. You can put it on the shelf this way and pull it in and out with the finger hole. In those cubes, you can actually put your paper handlers in the cube sideways like this, because the cubes, stacking them all together, you have the ends on the cube, so it's going to keep everything straight and tall. Now, it's standing up fine right now, but the difference is these boxes are engineered. They have these little feet that come out when you fold the boxes together, and the way the fold in the bottom is, they're engineered for maximum stability to be this way on your shelf, right? So you can see that looks a little bit more stable than when I had it on its back. So this is the 12 by 12 paper handler. Now, both the paper handler, all of these products work with what's called the A06 paper storage box divider. They also work with the 12 by 12 fab file tab divider pockets. So for pockets for scraps, for labeling and dividing, you've got a couple of different options there as well. Last but not least, on your shelf, now, and this goes back to What kind of crafter are you? Susie, on the bottom, oh no, I think on this row, all the way down at the end with the totes, on top of the totes, I think there's flat paper storage boxes. Are there some sitting there?
Voila.
So Susie is my tall girl, and usually these are stored on the top shelf. And the reason I haven't put them away is because Susie wasn't here. I couldn't reach the top shelf. Okay, so these are the paper storage boxes, right? They fold together at the bottom also. All of these things are going to fit in your Michael's cube. So depending on what you've got, these just fold in at the bottom as well. Again, engineered to stand this way. If you're using the cube, you can use them this way. That makes it easier to pull your paper in and out of, but they do need to be in a cube because they're not as durable. They're going to tip over. These are the widest ones, right? So this is going to hold the most paper. These come in sets of 5. Again, they all work with in the cubes, whether it's the IKEA cubes, the Michael's cubes, the Joann's cube, not the Target cube. The Target cubes are smaller than 12 by 12, but IKEA cubes are 13 1/4 by 13 1/4. I think the Michael's cube is 13 1/2 by 13 1/2, slightly larger. All the boxes are going to fit in those cubes, just not the smaller cubes from like IKEA or whatever. So those are your options: 12 by 12 paper storage boxes, 12 by 12 paper handlers, or 12 by 12 fab files, all going to hold 12 by 12 paper. All of those, well, not all of them. And then, there's also the 12 by 12 paper taker, which is this guy. So again, depending on how you move around in the world, there's also the Lisa Buddy bag, 12 by 12. So depending on how you move around in the world of crafting and how you need to protect your supplies, those are all the options. They also work with the Scrap Master organizer as well. So great place to keep your scraps or collections of products together. I believe we were out of stock on our website on a couple of those options. However, scrapbook.com, I think, does have all of those options in stock right now. Woo. All right, what's next?
Well, we've got a few more questions. It's like 11:22.
Okay. I'm going to take the last few questions because it's already after 11 o'clock. And then if I didn't get your question answered, please feel free to post it on Facebook or to email customer service at totally-tiffany and just put question in the subject line. Leanne will get that and she will get it to me and I will try to get it answered for you as well. But we are getting close on the timeline here.
Hi, Tiffany. Do you know when Crafters Companion will be stocking your slide station store boxes in the UK?
I don't know. I thought they were available in the UK, but I will ask. And I will get that on the Tuesday takeaways. I'm going to tell you that today I'm leaving right after the show, so I won't get the Tuesday takeaway probably put up until later tonight or first thing tomorrow, but I will definitely do it.
Okay, here's the last one.
Last question.
This one's from Alicia Dennison, and a lot of people were chiming.
Oh, wait a minute. Before we do the last question, we got to pick a winner. So if you haven't commented, the way to get in the drawing is to comment and get your name up there. So Susie can't throw you into the drawing if she doesn't know you're here. So right after I answer this question, Susie will pick a winner. We'll do the winner announcement. But if you haven't commented, do so now so that you can get in on the drawing.
All right, Alicia said, and then a lot of people are also very interested. Did I hear Tiffany say that she is working on a Calyx insert release in April? Please let me know. I would so use them. IKEA just doesn't have that many options when it comes to inserts.
I'm getting the look like you're going to be in big trouble here. I don't know that April's the time, but we are working on something that that will organize in your Calyx or Calyx or Expedit or whichever one of the IKEA Cube things that you have. It is in the works, and and hopefully, but I don't have a release date yet. So it's definitely something that we're working on. Definitely. All right. I think that's it, right? So We're going to pick a winner really quickly here. And then I was going to talk a little bit about the craft project. So while Susie picks a winner, I will. That I was working on with Marley. We were making Valentine's things. And one of the things that I was working on for Valentine's was this banner project that we are doing in our craft club this month. And so I just wanted to, I pulled out some 9x6 I needed a way to organize this project and get it ready for all of the ladies in craft club. And I don't know, for those of you who do multiple cards, or this would be a good solution for that as well. Or if you're like me and you got a craft group that you work with, the 9x6, the Kirsten bag with the 9x6 pockets is a great solution for sort of prepping up. So my idea is to do each of the items that we're going to be making and do the components in each one of those pockets. It'll be an easy way to keep all the ladies organized with each step of the project. So I just thought I would kind of show that to you real quickly, as kind of that was what one of the things I've been working on this weekend. All right, Susie, who's our winner?
All right, the winner is Kim Nesbitt Edwardson.
Kim Nesbitt Edwardson, you are the winner. I'm writing your name down too, so I can make sure and share it with them. So you have won a gift certificate to the Totally Tiffany website. Woo, woo. All you need to do is reach out to prizes@crafterscompanion.com and let them know that you are this week's winner, and they will get that gift certificate handled for you. Heads up to everybody. The UK handles the Christmas holidays a little bit different than we do in the US, and almost everything there kind of shuts down from the week before Christmas through today, right? They come back tomorrow. So if you have been waiting for a response for something, or it seems like something's taking a long time, just know that they have a different little pace of how things go during the holidays. Right. They get a little bit more break and relax time than we do. So be patient. If you haven't heard back or you haven't received something, give them a day or two to get caught up before and then you should probably hear back from whomever, hopefully sooner than later. Okay, with that said, Kim Nesbitt Edwardson, congratulations. Thank you, everybody, for joining me today for Tuesday Live. You are my Tuesday tribe. Again, just one more reminder, if you're watching on YouTube, please like, subscribe, and hit the bell. And if you aren't a subscriber on YouTube, maybe you always watch on Facebook, please pop over to the YouTube channel, see what's all there. I think you'll love having access to all the videos about different products. The old Tuesday Live videos are there, so if you want to revisit anything, everything's right there. And when you're at YouTube, make sure you like, subscribe, and hit the bell. Thanks so much for tuning in today. Have a great week. I will see all of you next Tuesday.